Shalomi homies. I'm in the zinnias, pulling weeds. Weeds for breakfast. I'm not complaining. I actually quite enjoy it and find it meditative. And gardening in general for me is like a living, breathing meditation. And a great metaphor for life. I think of weeding as like going into the mind and investigating and finding, the thoughts, the belief systems, the ways of being and doing that no longer serve me, the weeds, and removing them and throwing them on the heap of the compost. You see that big pile of weeds I already threw out? Letting it break down, letting it cook, letting it turn into rich compost out of which new life, new thoughts, new way of being can emerge, right? As I evolve in my person. And, but as I'm doing this, I also had this funny thought, and I'm wondering if any of you can relate. Like, have you ever watched a movie with someone and throughout the movie they keep talking to you and they're saying things like, oh, why did he do that? Or, oh, I really like her. Or like speaking about the characters as if they're actual agentic beings rather than actors, rather than characters in a made up story. Whereas maybe you are watching through the lens of trying to put yourself in the shoes of the director, the writer, the producer. You're trying to figure out the moral, the lesson, understanding it's a story. Okay. This is how I feel in life as I walk about the world, surrounded by people who are looking at actors who are up on a stage, politicians, pop stars, who have been placed there by the director, the writer, the producer, who we do not see, puppets who are being moved about in a certain kind of way to elicit a response from you and I. That's what's going on, and I don't know how people don't see it. I mean, I know a lot of people do, but I think the vast majority of the people are still asleep and caught up and under the spell that we have been put under as a collective by a few people who understand the spiritual nature of all of this, that's underlying all of this. Keeping that information from the masses so that we can be controlled, influenced by their little puppets. Making us all believe that the greatest thing that we could ever achieve in life is to be a puppet up on a stage. You know? That's how I feel a lot of the time. Like, I see people who, by all accounts, are intelligent, arguing and fighting and backbiting over politicians and political parties. As if any of this is a real thing. It's a show. Okay, it's a dream. It's an illusion that's mesmerizing us. A carnival with lots of bright, pretty lights and great entertainment, but that's what it is. It's entertainment. It's a distraction. And I also often feel like a prisoner who has escaped the prison, who's managed to dig a tunnel out into the wild, into the wilderness, and found freedom for myself. And food everywhere, abundance, beauty, peace. And I come back into the prison every day. I make my way back into the tunnel. And I try to tell the other prisoners, hey, there's freedom out there. But they're all too busy arguing over what show they're going to put on the television in the common room. Or voting on what kind of snacks they want to have in the commissary. And sometimes I think people don't want freedom. Because even, if the living standards aren't quite up to snuff, they're comfortable enough within the confines of the prison. It's predictable because it's what they know, the prisoners. Whatever. That's how I feel sometimes, a lot of the time, all of the time, actually. But I'm also free and happy and at peace, but confounded. I'm ready for everybody to wake up. Do you think it's gonna happen?